Aloha, Ohana, and welcome to day 78 of our 100 Lives in 100 Days challenge. Today, well, yesterday, we began our journey through my book, Walking in Aloha 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life, with chapter, it's not really chapters, it's more like sections, but in the section that says Turning Fear into Faith. And so today we're going to continue with that journey on section 2, Miracle Working God. This chapter begins during one of the most difficult seasons of my life and shares the lesson that God taught me through it. So rather than talk about the chapter, I'd like to read it with you. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's talk story. Miracle Working God. Between that lonely evening in the hospital, the cab ride home, and my final escape, I learned the vital lesson that is in this book, Walking in Aloha. God gave it to me. Now I will share it with you. How did I go from a life of domestic abuse to walking in aloha? It wasn't easy. It took me years of working things out and many hours of tears, lying on my face, crying out to God. There were times I thought I couldn't do it, and now I know it can be done. Phillips Phillips Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. It is possible to live the life God intended you to live, despite your past and the pain that you've endured. No matter what, God can turn what was meant for evil into good. He did it for me, and I know He can do it for you. For many years, people around me, my pastors and friends, have told me that I need to write down my testimony and put it out for others to read. They said that it could seriously help someone. My testimony could provide hope and encouragement for someone going through similar experiences. When Pat Quinn, a world-renowned speaking coach, heard my story, he said, there's someone out there waiting for your book, for your story, and for every moment that you hold on to it and not get it out into the world, that someone is not being helped. I've always shied away from the idea of telling my story, not wanting to expose myself to judgment or criticism. But after so many confirmations, I knew I needed to do something. I needed to write this book, not just for me, but for for others. The day God gave me the idea to write this book, I thought that it was ridiculous and it would never happen. Well, the devil is a liar. So, though it took me many years to realize that what God wanted to say through me was essential and needed to be written, I finally gave it all to God and surrendered. It was no longer my call. I had to act in obedience and complete this book. I carefully combed through every word to ensure that what I had written was correct and accurate. My words would not lead anyone astray, but it would lead them to Christ. True freedom is found at the foot of the cross when we surrender it all. I would never have come this far or even have been writing such a book if it weren't for my surrender of it all at the cross of Calvary. So here it is, Walking in Aloha, 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life. I've written what I learned in my walk with God and how ALOHA brought me to the life I'm living now. Walking in aloha isn't one and done. It's something that you must keep reminding yourself. You're reminding yourself of and keep walking in it every day. Like any other path in life, if you're not careful, you could veer off track and fall back to what the Lord has called you out of. The road to ruin is not a broad line you can cruise over. It's a fine line that can be crossed instantly. So as you read and review the worksheets, be kind to yourself. Stay in constant prayer and recognize your path. You are walking in aloha. It takes time and patience. You are not on this journey alone. You have a community that's walking with you. Most of all, you have the Holy Spirit inside you to guide you. Walking in aloha will be a tool to help guide you into living that life God intended you to have. No more fear, no more doubt. Live the confident life that you were created for. Will it be perfect? No, it won't. But you will find that you were placed here for a purpose, for such a time as this. All the stuff that you've gone through hasn't defeated you or defined you. You've overcome it, and now you will stand on top of it and use it to rise. What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn to good. Genesis 50:20. You intended it to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. E komo mai. Welcome to your journey. So that is Miracle Working God. Thank you for spending this time with me. Every time I read that chapter, I'm reminded that miracles don't always happen the way we expect them to. Sometimes we think a miracle is the immediate answer, the instant breakthrough, the sudden change in circumstances. And sometimes it is, but often the miracle is what God is doing inside of us while we're walking through the storm. When I was living through those difficult years, I couldn't see what God was building. I couldn't see this book. I couldn't see me speaking or helping others. I couldn't see the purpose. I could only see the pain. But God saw the whole story. One of the most powerful statements in this chapter is, despite your past and the pain you've endured, no matter what, God can turn what was meant for evil into good. He did it for me, and I know He can do it for you. That's not theory, that's testimony. Because when we're in the middle of a difficult season, it's easy for us to focus on what we've lost. I know, I've done it. We look at what went wrong, what hurt us, what's unfair. But God has a way of redeeming what appears broken. He can use our pain to develop compassion, our struggles to build strength, and yes, our testimony to bring hope and a message out of a mess. And sometimes, years later, we look back and realize that what we thought was the end of a story was actually the beginning of a brand new chapter. That's why I believe in a miracle working God. Not because life has been easy, because it surely hasn't, but because God has been faithful. So before I leave you tonight, I want to leave a question with you. What situation have you been reviewing as a setback that God may actually be using as a setup for something greater. Take a moment to think about it, write it in your journal, and if you'd like, share it in the comments because I would love to hear. I would love to hear what that is. And if you have any comments about today's chapter and how it impacted you or what you got from it, those key learning moments that you had, write it in the comments because I want to walk this walk with you. So, what area of your life are you trusting God with? Take 5 minutes today and write down one difficult experience you've been through. Then write this statement underneath it. God is not finished with this story. Because somewhere you'll see it. You'll see it this week. Right? Somewhere. Put it somewhere. And you'll see it at that moment when you need it. Every time you look at it, remind yourself, the chapter may not be over yet. Right? This chapter may not be over yet. God may still be writing. God may still be writing. So, may you be reminded today that your past does not determine your future. May you find peace in knowing that God is working even when you cannot see Him. And may your faith grow stronger than your fear. May you discover that the same God who brought you through yesterday is faithful to carry you through tomorrow. So until day 79, keep trusting, keep believing, and keep growing. And most of all, keep walking in aloha. Aloha always, and a hui hou.